SAT Math Problem System of Equations. This is from the non-calculator portion of SAT test, and we have the system of two equations, and there are different ways to solve this system, one of which is by substitution. I like to, where it's feasible, to go for elimination. And in solving by elimination, I like to fix it up so that we can add two equations together and eliminate a variable. This time we are trying to solve for x, and so for me what that means is it's going to be best to eliminate y, and if we can add these two equations together to eliminate y, that's what we want. And I notice that if we add these two equations together, we will get 3y. We want to get 0y, and the way we can best do this, in my judgment, is if we multiply this entire top equation by the coefficient of -2. And doing that, I'm going to write this -2 times the equation below. We have -2x, and we have -2y equals 18. And then we're going to stack right underneath it the second equation, which is x plus 2y equals -25. And now we can add these two equations together, and we get -2x plus x is going to be -x. -2y plus -2y will be 0. And finally, at the right, we have 18 minus 25, which is -7. And dividing by -1 both sides of this equation, we're going to have x is equal to 7, which is our correct answer. I'm going to box it, put it in here on our grid. So there it is, gridded in. As far as other extensions of this, I had a student, Eli, who asked the question, well, what if, for instance, we're going to have a whole new situation? But even before I mention that, why do we want to set up to add equations? Just because it's easy to make mistakes by subtracting. You make mistakes by subtracting, I do too. And so adding minimizes the opportunities for mistakes. Now let's say that on top we have, instead of x plus y equals -9, what if instead we had x plus 3y? And so now it's really not set up optimally for elimination, but what we can do when we have two different coefficients and need to eliminate a variable, we're going to have to go ahead and multiply both equations by something to go for elimination. So if we go ahead and multiply, for instance, this top equation by -2 and the bottom equation by 3, we're going to do that and stack these revised equations underneath each other. So we have -2x, and we have -6y equals -2 times -9, which is -18. And right underneath it we have 3x, and then we have 6y, and then we have -75. Okay, so let's go ahead and add these together. So what we get is -2x plus 3x is going to be x. And finally we have -18. Actually, it's going to be +18. +18 minus 75 is going to be -57. So x in this case is -57. So we could enter it here like this. So that's a little extension that might be helpful. Where's that negative sign? I don't see it. Well, what happens in the SAT, actually, I don't think you have negative answers most of the time, so you wouldn't have such an answer. So that's the reason for that. Okay, so that's what I have for this. I hope this video lesson has been helpful. Good luck, and thanks for viewing.